Alright, first block at the World Series of Falling is done. First 6 games on Scorpion, and I got off to a decent start. I had 1283 plus 83 for my 6 games. Nothing too special about that score, but at least a decent position for everything else. I'm probably going to need a really big next 6 games to make the cut on Scorpion, but at least for the World Championship I should be in okay position. My game plan was to play the gutter. Tried doing that. I played a little too far right. With game 1, chopped 2 spares for 190. Then had a pretty good look the next few games with an optimal idle with a little bit of polish on it. Stayed with that for probably 1 game too long. Had 190 game 5 where it started to force me a little bit left, but then I didn't have hook to the right, so I had a couple splits. Ended up making 7 splits today, which kind of kept my score afloat. But didn't feel like my look was that bad from out here. I just needed to get away from it a little bit quicker and make some quicker adjustments, I think. Made the big jump left in game 6, which was probably about like 35 board move left, and got a little unfortunate only shooting 2-0 that game. Could easily have been 220, but is what it is. 1280. As you can see, the B squad is going on. I was on A squad, and it looks like they're playing it quite a bit further left, so it'll be interesting to see how the scores add up for this squad. But overall, not in too bad position. Hopefully I can put together some good days coming up here. Probably one more good day on Scorpion, then good days on Viper, Chameleon, and Shark, hopefully to make the cut for the World Championship. Top 50 make the cut there, and top 24 make the cut on each animal pattern. So fingers crossed that I put together some big games and make a little run in these coming tournaments. Round 2 on Scorpion was unfortunately not the day I made the big run, but I also didn't hurt myself in any way. It was just a little bit of a rough day. My game plan was I was gonna try playing the gutter again, not quite as far right, but around the spot where I played game 2 yesterday, but with something that read a little bit earlier to get a little bit more consistent reaction. And it looked okay in practice. I felt like I got the pair set up okay. And then we started, first shot was a little left the 9-10 split. Not what you want. Long story short, the right lane was okay on that pair. Went strike my first 2 shots, but didn't throw it very good on the left lane, so I had 2 opens there. Then when I got a double, I left the 7-10 on the good lane, the right lane, and my next shot on the left lane where it was hooking more, I got it a little bit right and it 2-pinned, and I was like, all right, I have to get off the gutter. Like, this just isn't, it's not happening on this pattern. And to be fair, when we practiced, Scorpion was probably the pattern where my look on the gutter was the worst. I just felt like there was enough out there to where I could give it a run and maybe give myself an advantage going through a couple games, get some good score there, but just wasn't meant to be. Made them about a 10 board move, left with 9 max, got a double, left the 7-pin in the 10th, 180. So not the start I needed. I always feel like I should be able to bowl decent games on a fresh, and I just didn't do that on this pattern. Should at least have been able to get like 2-0, 2-10 on the fresh, even if I struggled a little bit. But at least the Iron Max looked good. Managed to bowl 230 game 2 to get myself back in a decent position. Just trying to get as much as I could. Game 3, we hit EJ starting pair, and I don't know if it's EJ that transitions the lanes that much, or if it's everyone else because they know EJ start there and they just move 5 further left than they should. But like my first 2 shots, hooked early, went through the face. I switched from the Iron Max to a Rockstar to get something that got down lane a little easier. Hooked early, went through the face. Luckily I didn't. I started off with three spares. Then I tripped a 4-pin, went high flush for a double, kept moving left. Like I was, at this point I'm sliding like 35 or 36 game 3 on 44 feet, and I'm still going high. I went so that game ended up being 199. Never got another double. I probably should have switched to a cleaner, weaker ball there, but I felt like the Rockstar, even though it forced me a little too far left, it still looked good enough. Unfortunately, it just is lagging that a little bit to give me an extra double or 2. But went from the high end down to the low end. Low end hooks more, so I also went to a weaker ball. In this case, cleaner cover, because I went to an Origin, which is probably a stronger core than the Rockstar, but a cleaner cover, and it did look pretty good. Managed to get lined up pretty well, and had a chance at 240, but threw it a little firm in the 10th, left the 210, didn't make it this time unfortunately. So I shot 210 or 210 or something like that. But felt like I was doing the right thing. I was starting to throw it better and better. Next game, right lane tricked me a little bit, but I still managed to shoot 230. And the last pair was a little tricky. It was earlier than the pair I just came off of, but tighter down lane. So it probably burned up a little bit more. So I went high the first shot, then doubled, left a 2-pin where it got a little firm, and the flat 10, and I didn't really want to switch out of the Origin because I wasn't gonna make the cut. Like I couldn't strike out and get to the cut, so it wasn't like I was forced to take a chance and kind of do something. But at the same time, when you go flat 10, and when you go 2-pin flat 10 on, and the 2 flat 10s were really good shots, you kind of have to do something different. So I went ball down to DNA coil, didn't throw the first shot very good, and unfortunately chopped the spare, but then got a turkey and got to 2-teen for that game. So plus 77 for the block, plus 160 overall, which puts me just outside the top 50 for the World Championship. So even though it was kind of a rough day, struggle day with some bad execution, some bad decision making, still in okay position overall. Obviously, you'd like to have another 100 pins or so, but this pattern just wasn't there. This pattern, I will say, I should have played them different on the fresh both days. I should have done some different stuff, but I also want to say, like, I felt like I had something out on the gutter. took a chance and went with it, even though pretty much no one else was doing that. And when that works out, that's when you can win. You got something unique. That's how you win out here. It's really hard to win if you're doing what everyone else is doing, because most likely someone is doing it better than you. So that's just how it is. Like it's really hard to win doing that. So I tried doing something different, and it just didn't quite pay off this time. Did manage to salvage it though. Didn't hurt myself in the overall. So now I just got to bowl better, find better solutions for the next 3 patterns. So make sure you check out my other videos. Got a couple cool videos from last week at the my Golby Nevada Classic where I made the cut. So please watch that one, and I'll see you on Viper.